Titans. I fucking hate Titans. Titans Season 1 was one of those things where I really enjoyed it, while understanding where others didn't, and Titans Season 2 makes me want to commit arson. I think where Titans Season 1 shined as a setup is dependent on having these characters introduced to us in new and creative ways. Sadly, those introductions suffer from a strange need to cram as much stuff into the show as possible. It's cool to get hyped at 35 Easter eggs per episode, but it's painful as hell to miss out on any sort of development of the most important part of a show, like... If you are going to be making a team show and telling stories about an ensemble, you need to give each character enough time to grow, change, and evolve, and have some sort of a fulfilling arc per season. But Titans Season 1 ends on a cliffhanger. Titans Season 2 opens up with what was supposed to be the Titans Season 1 finale, but not even the original finale. See, Dick was supposed to become Nightwing, Corey was supposed to become Starfire, and Rachel was supposed to become Raven, and on top of that, Gar was supposed to be one step closer to a fully actualized Beast Boy. Instead, they said no, and we got 13 episodes of... Ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough. And we get little to no satisfying character arcs or endings. But at least we get a somewhat remotely satisfying arc with... While Dick Grayson's character has the most satisfying arc, this is coming from a low standard for me, because to get anything out of this character comes at a cost. It is clear that the writers and showrunners are focused on Dick Grayson more than any other character, but it feels like they don't care about him. Or at least they don't want to put in the work to make the character shine like he could. Like all the other characters, his potential is there, and yet they still continue to undersell him. In Season 1, they tell a story of Dick wanting to move from being Robin, and his personal conflict with what being Robin did to him. And it's a cool thesis, and we even get to see his antithesis, but we never get to see the synthesis of the character. We never see Dick find balance. But then we get to Season 2, and it takes approximately 13 more episodes, which isn't something to necessarily complain about, but if it wasn't ass, I wouldn't complain. The main issue with Dick Grayson as a character is that it feels like they are trying way too hard to make him something he never should have been. I understand the angle with being unable to control his violent temperament. That works, but when the motivation gets completely changed with an entirely new backstory and an entire retcon of events, it just seems so strange. So I'm supposed to believe that Dick Grayson wanted to give up being Robin after growing too violent while becoming almost addicted to it. But then I'm also supposed to believe that while that was going on, he also manipulated Jericho into being their friend and trying to use him as leverage and bait against Deathstroke to get revenge for what happened to Aqualad. Is it just me, or is that the leap of the century? So Jericho dies, the Titans disband. Dick says, "Fucking I'm a cop now," and then becomes a detective. Stays as Robin, brutalized people, and then a whole season later...
I killed Deathstroke's son.
We already treaded this water in the first season.
You gotta help me! Please. No. I killed his father.
And I don't understand how I'm supposed to hold on to anything that happens in Season 1 regarding Dick's character development when they change his motivation and development completely. Season 2 feels like a giant retcon at almost every level. And when we finally get to something that could bring this all together for Dick and give us and him a conclusion that is well thought out and perfect for the character, we get Dick beating the shit out of cops. No real complaints though. Dick going to prison. Dick being inspired by an urban legend to become Nightwing. All while having an hallucination of Bruce Wayne being an absolute douchebag. He do be caking though. And after all of that, we finally get to see Dick getting his suit. Okay, cool. He's gonna design and make this suit all on his own, free of the influence of Bruce Wayne.
Let's show Dick what Master Wayne has put together.
Dick Grayson's entire arc is about not being Batman, not being under Batman, not being compared to Batman, being free of Batman.
Fuck Batman.
We get an entire piece dedicated to having Dick have hallucinations due to guilt, but they didn't start until now. This secret has plagued him for years, and only now it starts to have adverse effects. And yet he gets the suit from Batman. It's not like he got access to the tools and resources to make it. No, Bruce made a Nightwing suit before Nightwing even existed. This isn't Nightwing. This is Batboy Jr. Okay, that's a joke. But the fact that Bruce has a Nightwing suit made for Dick when Nightwing is simply just becoming an idea to him is just bad writing. We completely lose Dick's connection to his identity, and on top of that, we lose connection to other characters and miss out on Dick being a mentor of conflict that takes place years before. With that connection lost between the characters, we lose the loss of getting development with characters who need it the most, and we lose one redeeming relationship of Season 1. For a character that was so central to the story of Titan Season 1, we lost our connection to... There isn't much to talk about with Rachel, which sucks because she is a character in the show, but we lose out on growth with her character when the writers decide to introduce new characters and double back on old characters. Rachel suffers from a condition called the MJ effect. A female character with so much potential to bring a completely new energy to the movie, or show in this case, if given the proper screen and script time. We get such a good setup and vibe with Rachel's character and her abilities and the conflict around her, all for it to go directly down the drain when she defeats Trigon in 3.5 seconds. Rachel spends most of her time either a damsel in distress or being neglected or having her powers do something that gets zero explanation, all for the arc of her character to be moved. No, literally, the show ends with her just like going somewhere else. That's sadly all I have for Rachel. Potential with a confusing side plot with barely any explanation for what the hell is going on. What's next? So far, I think I'm killing this. Oh yeah, that's right. Speaking of kill. What the writers don't know how to do is progress. Why do we need Gar doing... Oh yeah, absolutely nothing again. Oh wait, never mind. We're just going to make him animalistic and kill people. Again. Gar gets nothing to do for the whole show, and then when we finally get something interesting, he gets kidnapped and turned into a mindless killer drone. And a couple episodes later, he gets freed. And now we have to wait months for a whole new season for them to somehow continue and resolve this. But all things considered, I thought Season 2 would do that. Potential and progress. Two things either ignored or completely disregarded by the writers. I can't dive too much into Gar because they aren't giving him anything to do when it's a crime. One episode they say, let's make him a snake, and then they say, never mind, he is just still a tiger. And they market him to become Beast Boy, green teeth and all. And nope! All of this for nothing to come of it. This shit is a bigger injustice than Super Ninjas being canceled. Speaking of absolute bullshit, these segues are going so downhill. Let's do a 2-for-1 special. Oh, you gotta be fucking joking. You gotta be fucking... Fuck. These characters suck ass. They went from having arguably the best episode of Season 1 to being the biggest regressions and disappointments of Season 2. We get it, TV show. They are toxic, but also just shitty people. They are defined by their usage of being vigilantes out of dealing with their trauma, which is something people do. It's how a lot of characters cope, but that sense of responsibility is lost on me. The second things get tough for the team, they leave. Hank relapses and becomes a cage fighter and sleeps with some random woman. No. He literally falls asleep. Dawn, wait, what did she even do? She just left? Oh, nope, she just drives away. I do not feel connected to these characters in a way that makes me care about who they are anymore. I feel like they shouldn't even be a part of the show. They don't do anything. No one does anything. In a show where you are trying to establish themes of team and family, the writers can't seem to grasp that people have to interact and engage with each other to establish that properly. Especially when you have a character like Jason motherfucking Todd. You sons of bitches, where to start? The fact that the showrunners had such a boner to establish Red Hood that they didn't even include his mother or Joker. The fact that the only meaningful conflict we get with him is these characters who we are supposed to respect, dogpiling on him and shitting on him. Or the fact that the writers decided that that was enough for him to want to kill people. All in all, Jason Todd had some of the most potential of the show to really offer depth, but anytime the writers get close to it, they make a hard left. Jason Todd should have died this season. Jason Todd should have sacrificed himself for a good heroic cost. He shouldn't be this child that feels out of the village in the... What the fuck did that asshole say? Give me the script. Fuck did he say? The child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. Yeah, that's a dope quote and great sentiment, but we are careening into sociopath territory. All Jason does is fight people and cry, which isn't bad. A character like him should struggle.
You know what, Rose? Maybe you can go through it all, huh? Maybe you can fucking underline the parts where you weren't fucking lying.
Jason!
What the fuck was I thinking, huh? I am such an asshole, huh? I took you to that fucking school. I told you all my fucking secrets, huh? What was part of Daddy's training to fuck me all the time?
He likes to play catch. I asked him, can you catch these hands? He said yes, so I fucking hit him. What is the problem?
I'm losing my IQ. Speaking of losing IQ, what in Sam hell is this? Losing her powers, I can get behind that, I understand, but making her legitimately dumb is unforgivable.
Hey, Connor! That's your idea, hey, Connor?
Also, can we please get a season without Starfire being needlessly horny? Like, I get it, you have no clue what you were doing with these characters, but holy shit, if you can't think of something and this is the best you can think of, find a new job. Starfire does and offers nothing. Fingers crossed for season 3, though. Speaking of crosses and holes in hands, I hate myself.
Hi, Daddy-o.
I'm in Spain. Stop the fucking music! Let's make this a triple whammy! Why did you bother? Not only did y'all make Rose Terra, you made her... This character feels like an afterthought. I mean, the Deathstroke and Jericho stuff, actually not total donkey ass, but when we get this character intro that could have easily been another character, like Terra, it's confusing. We get her intro and we understand her motivation from the point of view that she delivers it, and then we later get the exact same motivation delivered to us as if it somehow changed anything. Her fake motivation became her real motivation, and then I'm supposed to be convinced that these people she spent 12 episodes being an asshole to are her family. You know, the people she lied to, like how she gave Dick shit for lying and then abandoned them just like everyone else did. God, these are just shitty people. And Deathstroke is an awesome performance, but it's bogged down by this strange underutilization. If I was an actor, and I had all of this hype built around me, my face and voice used as promo, just to get stabbed in the stomach and have the story derail itself for the 56th time in the season finale, I'd be pissed. Deathstroke is completely undermined by Cadmus because the writers somehow felt that they would make a better big bad of the season. You know, because they wanted to make up for hyping up Trigon and then killing him off immediately. Oh wait! Never mind. But Jericho, he is a baby, and he deserved a much better resolution. I feel like Jericho, while being a really good performance, is bogged down by the fact that the closest thing he has to friends and family are these assholes. He's the best character in the show from a moral and ethical and attitudinal standpoint. He's an amazing catalyst for some characters, and yet I feel like the ball was dropped hard. Speaking of hard, he has no reason to be in this show. But if you are going to include him, then you should try at least to maybe give that attention to previously underdeveloped characters. Connor also isn't Superboy, he's just Superman. He has heat vision, super speed, and can fly. The most popular versions of Superboy are just strong. It's what sets him apart from Kal-El and Kara. He is physically held back by the human side of him, while his humanity drives his motivation and efforts and usage of his alien power. Having Superman on your Titans team is like having... it's just dumb, okay? Really cool idea with his memories colliding and him struggling to know who he is, but my investment of this entire character is basically taken from me because the show refuses to include the other characters for anything other than being either catalysts or punching bags. Speaking of crimes against humanity and art, my sanity is at an all-time low. The darkness is never ending and the void is cold. Bars.
Don't call me. Don't come by my house. We're done.
I don't know what's worse. The fact that Alan Ritchson hyped up this show and tried to throw shots at the MCU because the show has stakes, or the fact that the idea of stakes to the Titans writer is whether or not a character dies. That's it? That's all you got? We get an entire season of TV where we are told that the Titans have each other's backs and the Titans are a team, just so I could watch Donna Troy die due to electric shock after taking a punch from Superman, which is what causes the beam to be loosened anyway. All for the literal next week to give us a Wonder Woman trailer of Diana swinging on lightning with her lasso. Fuck off. Then I'm supposed to feel something other than immeasurable anger while these characters mourn her while also telling us,
You didn't really know her.
yeah, Gar, that's the problem. Why do we need characters to die for there to be stakes? Why do we have to include lines of dialogue about a team that calls itself a family by the end of a season explaining that they aren't close and don't know each other? This show is terribly disappointing and it is painful. I am so sorry that you can't think of meaningful ways to develop and utilize your great and iconic character roster outside of corpses. We get Donna dying just so we can create a new character arc for Rachel. We get no setup for Gar dealing with being brainwashed. Hank and Dawn aren't a couple, but they are still partners as Hawk and Dove because they're too unstable and toxic to be there for each other as humans. And Jason is just sad. Jericho enters Rose's body for no reason, never referenced after this scene, by the way, and we have heard no rumors or news about either of them returning to the show. All in all, I am sad. This show is, I hate this word. This show is bad. It has so much passion in so many areas, and I know the people behind it are giving their all, but whoever made that blue filter mandatory needs executed, needs fired. The writing isn't what it could be or really needs to be. It is way too occupied and stretched way too thin. And on top of that, the creative decisions are just not my cup of tea. But I also feel like now should be the time to say this. If at any point watching this video you had a different interpretation than me, you felt differently about anything I criticized, or you love this show, all I have to say is good. I do not want to try to be an authority on what people can and cannot like. I'm just a dude talking shit about shit. I don't know shit about shit. I didn't love Titan Season 2, and I'm extremely cautiously optimistic going into Season 3, but the pain still lingers. In this video, I mostly covered how the characters were the main issue with the show, the writing being connected to that, of course. Because to me, that's the biggest issue, especially with an ever-growing cast each season. I focused on characters because they are our tether to the story, to this universe. I sadly felt like I was cut loose. And in my free fall of confusion, anger, and despair, all I felt was pain. Thank you so much for watching and indulging me in making a negative video. I'm hoping that I don't encounter something that will compel me to make another negative video. My original vision for this channel was to focus on things I love, but this seemed like a good way to push myself. Also, it's my love for these characters and my love for the potential of this show that really bothers me when it comes to it. And this is my first DC video, so I think it's only fair to make another DC video soon about something I love. Trust me, it's going to be fun, especially if you've seen a past video of mine. Thank you again for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment what your thoughts are on Titans.